You're listening to the Beer Craft Beer and Brewing Podcast. Tune in every Wednesday night at 6:30 Pacific for a dose of beer and brewing banter with your hosts, Ben Holm and Andrew Ziegler.
So hop aboard for some wit and wisdom in the Pacific Northwest, because it's always beer 30 on
The Beer Craft.
From beer to cider, today we're talking apples, fermentation, and everything in between.
And we're not going it alone. Our guest is Jenn Knutzen, graduate of the Cider Institute of North America, Cardinal Craft Brewing. We've talked about it before. An alum and a judge in the 2023 where am I? 2023 Northwest Cider Cup in Portland.
So Jen's got the credentials. She's got the palate. She's got a few stories up her sleeve. We've actually got questions ready this time, so expect fewer stumbles and more cider talk.
Cider talk is great. Well, few stumbles on the questions, at least, and no promises about the drinking part, because I see the cider come.
You know, beer 30 came early. That's okay. Speaking of which, let's pour something out, something cold, something crisp. It's our favorite part of the show.
You know what time it is.
It's Beer 30. The cider edition here on the Beer Craft Beer and Brewing Podcast.
Sounds good to me.
Welcome to the show. Welcome, Jenn.
Welcome, Jenn.
Glad to have you on board. Say hello to everybody out there.
Hello, everybody.
See, you got the hard part out of the way.
All right.
We're back and we're rolling now. How you been? It's been a hot minute.
I'm busy.
Beats the alternative, I expect.
Yeah. Very busy person, yeah.
Well, you know, object in motion stays in motion, so
there you go.
Object at rest. You know, you don't want to be sitting around all day.
Let's pour something out. I think we all sound parched. You know what I mean? You've got a lot of different goody little tasty
got some
bits
fun
there.
little things here for you.
What are you going to start us out with today, Jenn?
I'm going to start with the Finn River Blush.
Der Blush.
Mm-hmm. Okay. They've recently started canning this. This was normally only in 750 mils. So this is a nice,
single serving
to go option, right? This one is Black Currant Blush.
Yeah. All the color then from the black currants today?
I believe the blush color is from the fruit in the cider, in fact. Help yourself. Yeah.
I'm going to let Andrew pour. I have been banned. Now, I have no depth perception anymore, so pouring beer next to expensive equipment it's not a great combination.
Not something you should be doing.
That is more than a little bit blush, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And
that is like a magenta, it screams hibiscus color, kind of.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Ruby red.
Hibiscus.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for this one.
What is hibiscus in Espanol?
Jamaica.
Oh, right. Oh,
yeah.
This looks good.
I was trying to remember that the other day.
Oh, that smells good.
Yeah.
Very
red.
fruit forward.
It's very red. There's no carbonation in it, so it's a non-carbonated. It's just
it's carbonated.
Dry.
Just doesn't. There's no proteins in cider, so
it says
we don't
dry
get ahead.
sparkling. Yeah.
It's definitely carbonated. Dancing around a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, I guess I can see it. I'm blind.
That is not boring at all.
It is not boring at all. And this is what I would call a dry cider, even though it's fruited. One of the things I like about Finn River is that they do add fruit to cider, and they don't make it sweet. It's more of a dry.
No Kool-Aid ciders?
No Kool-Aid, yeah. They use the sweetness and the sugars and the fruit to their advantage for the fermentation, and so it ends up being more tannins and more dry.
Yeah, it got a nice crispness to it.
It does.
Kind of makes me thirsty for some more. Probably some tannins right there.
Some tannins.
Well, I am not going to kick that out of bed for eating cookies.
Nom, 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 nom.
Yeah. We were remarking before you arrived in studio today that first ever cider that I enjoyed was from your hands. It was a raspberry cider many moons ago. I think this is about the time Angry Orchards everywhere at this point, and I fucking hated that stuff. I thought, cool name, terrible libation. I didn't enjoy any of those. I've been a little dour on cider. Thank you for correcting that.
Well, like Angry Orchard, that's like an apple juice.
Yeah.
It's like a hard apple juice.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it. But you certainly turned my palate over into a new direction. I thank you for that. We also realized we all met on the same day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was at a meeting.
Yeah.
It was at the tasting.
The
It was.
off-flavor tasting panel over at Craig's place.
That is true.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Isn't that
So,
bizarre?
Interesting. Again, thanks for being in the studio. We'll try not to hit you with too many hard questions, but I think we'll have a good time. It is definitely cider season.
It is definitely cider season.
I think our cider our press has been rented nearly every weekend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
There's early fruit fall, so a lot of people have pears and plums and apples.
Yeah, I was a little unprepared for the earliness of the fruit fall this year, as we got wiped out of pectic enzyme and fermenters and dextrose and all the goodies. I sold like 10 hydrometers today just for giggle burgers, so got to get some more of those coming in.
Man, I stopped buying those. I dropped those things like they're hot.
Well, I got to buy 4 today.
Hey, did
for
I
that
hear
reason.
that from a podcast?
Yeah. Goddamn gravity works really well. This is I'm enjoying this cider. What's been new in the cider world for you, Jen?
New in the cider world.
What's the last one you made?
Oh, the last one I made was the Tempest, and that was
That's a cool name.
I think so. It was a rosé, and that was a low ABV, kind of a summer outdoor hiking to go style cider. So it's kind of a powder pink color.
Yeah.
It's real cute.
What were your apples?
Table apples. This, off season, it's hard to get any kind of cider apples. I do get cider apples juiced, and they fill my carboy at Bellwood Acres.
Yeah, they got a good thing going.
But normally, if I can't get that, then I'll go to the Red Barn and I'll get gallons out there at the Red Barn and ferment those.
I've done Red Barn. I've done some Gordon Family Farms cider as well. Last year I got into some cider apples from Tulip Valley Winery. A couple of their French and English varieties. That came out really good. I didn't write down what the hell it was because half of them were French, and I no longer speak French. But it was a fantastic cider. It straight up tasted like Martinelli's. But it was 7% with
There
no sugar
are some
added.
French dry styles that do have like a ton of apple on them, a lot of apple aroma, and then on the palate, it tastes like you think when you smell it, it's going to be really sweet, but then it's just a dry pop, and it's acidic and
no residual sugar in that at all. First pressing and I didn't have to add anything to it. It was 6.95%. And I was thrilled because some of those table apples, man, I got to add some sugar to get it into a range that I like because I don't get out of bed for 3.5%.
Yeah, if I'm going to try to keep it consistent and I know I'm using a table apple blend, I do have a specific measurement of dextrose I'll add to a batch. Like if I'm trying to hit a 7 or something. With the Tempest, it's considerably less. I think I only put maybe a third of what I would normally use to get it to like a 4.5. And then that's with blackberry and marionberry.
Oh, good.
And a light dusting of hibiscus. So it's got a really nice juicy profile with a little bit of a floral note to it. But it's mostly, it's more sweet than I would normally make a cider. But it is perfect for, like I said, outdoor activities. We're going to hike the mountain. We're going to go camping. We're going to take some Tempest.
Put it in the backpack.
Take the
and get
Tempest.
on the road.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah. That's excited for that one. I think the one that stood out for me was a raspberry hibiscus you had done.
Raspberry hibiscus cider, that was with a honey, back sweetening with honey, I think, on that one. And then it was aged. Like I left it for another 9 months.
That's called practicing patience right there.
Right. Yeah, it really is.
This is a hobby that will daily try to teach me patience, and I have been a shitty student on that front until very recently. Like it just started lagering my Oktoberfest for 5-6 months, sitting on a Scotch ale for a year, before drinking any of it.
You are practicing your patience.
Yeah, it's tough. I remember with the Oktoberfest, Trevor kept coming in the shop. Are we going to bottle that today? We're going to keg that? When are we going to drink that? And we had it like zip tied. The keg post was like zip tied and duct taped. And like, do not fucking touch. It was rough.
Zip tie on the.
You know, it's just got to slow you down just long enough for you to think about why it's there, and that can help. It can also be too easy to wiggle it off.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, do we make little ball locks or a lock for my ball lock?
A locking ball lock.
Yep. Now that
sounds good.
Okay. Yeah. That's a great idea.
The Logger Rider. Yeah, the Logger Raider.
I'm going to patent that before the show comes out, folks.
Yeah, get on it. He's gonna. If you hear the clicking of his phone, it's fine. Ball lock. There you go. That's awesome. What else you got for us today, Jen? Not to scare you.
Yeah, I'm thirsty. Looks like Ben's thirsty too. See, we're used to drinking hard like rock stars on the air. You're just getting used to it.
I'm just gonna savor mine. This one's gonna be slightly sweeter. This is from Portland. It's Swift Cider Company.
Okay.
This is one of my favorite ciders that they make. They do a really great fruited berry series, and then also they do this really fun cocktail series. So
like a fruit cocktail type?
Yeah. So no, it's like a Mai Tai cider.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a pineapple Mai Tai cider.
You didn't bring any with you, did you?
It's out of season.
So you're gonna like make a cider on the rocks with a umbrella in it.
I mean, if you wanted to, but it tastes like a Mai Tai poured out of the can, literally, with pineapple and like citrus peel.
Over on the rocks sounds great.
Yeah. Mai Tais, that's my kryptonite. Anytime on island, I have to depopulate the island of rum. I'm just one man, but I try real hard
to depopulate the island. I tried to do that when I lived on St. Croix.
I'm a fan of the 1944 Trader Vic version of the Mai Tai over the resort, like Don the Beachcomber resort.
Yeah, what's the difference?
So the 44 Mai Tai, it is lime, orgeat, and aged rum and a young rum over the on the rocks. So the orgeat is a little almond simple syrup that's really delicious. And it's a simple drink. It's got its backbone in like your margarita, your daiquiri, those kind of archetypical formulations. Whereas Don the Beachcomber, you get into like your pineapple juices, your fruity additions, and like that Meyer rum float on top. And they're good. But they're also sugar bombs. Which gives me heartburn anymore. Another ruby colored cider.
Yeah, this is a
red.
This was blueberry.
Blueberry, yeah. This is a semi-sweet. It should have a crisp, clean finish on it. Juicy, fruity, some floral and citrus notes. They're pretty consistent with their product. I know they just had to move locations, and so I haven't been able to source this in kegs or anything. So,
ooh, the blueberry comes through right at the finish on that and says hello.
Now this one got a head on it
for a minute.
For a second.
It is.
So it is definitely carbonated.
Yeah. Got bubbles and everything.
Aroma. Blueberry?
Blueberry. Yeah. It is on the tart side, too, so that's nice. It really balances out the sweetness quite a bit.
I like that.
Yeah, it doesn't make it, like, super juicy sweet. It's still, more dry and tart.
Blueberry juice.
I don't mind, like fruit-forward flavors. I know in, like, wine discussions with people, like, I don't like, I don't like sweet wines. I'm like what? Cabernet Sauvignon. I'm like, ma'am, I'm going to have to, pop your bubble there. It's Cabernet Sauvignon's got 0 residual sugars. It's dry, but we start talking about fruit-forward flavors. They trick the brain out and
the aroma.
Give you a sweet finish. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I love wine.
I should have.
That's a whole other story.
We might have to do one of those.
The French dry I was talking about, the Reine de Pomme from Bauman's, that is the one that really tricks your brain. It smells almost like apple cobbler. Like it's just like these just like melted warm apple, and then you just quaff, 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 and then you take a big slug off it, and it just makes your whole mouth go, ew, it's so dry and tart. Oh yeah, it's so good.
This is fantastic. Thank you for. This is quite the lineup, but we still have 2 more to drink. Let's get into some Q&A here, because we have a lot to cover. Well, we have to kill some time while we drink these ciders. So
that's right.
We might as well talk about them. Jen, what was it? What got you into cider?
I think the original start was just I had a cider not too long after I joined club, and I was like, this could be so much better, and I can't even remember. It was missing, right? Yeah, I can't even remember what it was, and I was like, maybe I want to try to make this, right? And so I started making it, and I don't know if you guys remember, the first batch I ever did was like a Marionberry and rosemary.
I do remember. Yeah,
it was crazy dry. It was nuts.
The rosemary was it said hello a lot.
Yes, it sure did. Yeah, I haven't used that again. Yeah, it was really aggressive.
Powerful ally she
is. And then just kind of after that, it just turned into a lot of like research, just trying different styles and new things. And I'm still eyeball deep in the beer world, but cider is like a passion project.
Sure.
And so getting out in the world and trying other ciders, and then I started just making more and more ciders, and I kind of started focusing on more modern styles or more out of the box styles, like the Kinglet that took second place at the Bellwood Cider Fest. The Kinglet was a modernized out-of-the-box style that was gold raspberry, honey, and cardamom. And that style, that's kind of a unique combination. Good. Yeah, and that took second place at Cider Fest at Bellwood Acres.
Nice.
One of my...
Your accolade.
One of my accolades.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember
with me, yeah.
I remember you sourcing or trying to source enough golden raspberry to... do a cider. I remember
that was a flat.
Yeah, and a flat of money too.
Flat of money for
you get them for $15 a flat. So, yeah,
it's not cheap to make really good beverages.
It's not free. That's for damn sure.
It's not free.
It is not, unless you are scrumping.
Scrumping.
Yeah, scrumping
Sounds
is
official.
when you maybe you drive around your neighborhood and these people have all these pears. They're just falling off on the ground. You're like, oh god, that's a waste. If you go ask those people, they'll probably let you pick them all up and pick more from the tree.
Right. And so then what do we do with like the ones that are sitting in the yard, and then half the bottom's kind of like soft and mushy, yeah.
We don't do the mushy ones.
Are you going to cut that off?
I probably wouldn't do it at all, just because there could be bacteria in the fruit itself.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when you ferment, the bacteria is, basically used as food by your yeast.
Now your yeast are
but then
consuming bacteria, and then that's kind of gross.
Inconsistent, yeah. So
with their food source, you could have off flavors.
So you're gonna call your windfall from your scrumping activities to quality fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Yeah.
Quality scrumping.
Yeah.
Quality scrumping.
Quality scrumping is what we have to do this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna be cider pressing this Sunday at noon, if you remember.
Yeah.
We have to.
I know a lot of people come through the shop. That's how they're getting started. They either moved into a place has a derelict tree, or their neighbor's got a derelict tree.
Now what do I do with it?
What do I do now? And it's surprising the number of people like how getting into cider. As I ask them how many gallons you want to make today, like how much gear and kit do you need? I'm going to do 40 gallons. I'm like, you're gonna wipe me out. That's fine. Let's come on back. We're gonna get it going here.
It takes so many apples to make. That's a lot of apples.
Yeah, I think that gentleman, he had moved back to his parents' place, and they had a decent sized orchard and a stupid amount of apples to process, and they'd bought a crusher and press, and they were going to do it.
I think when we made I don't know, 20 gallons, and I think we pressed like 450 pounds of apples.
Yeah. It's like something silly like 14 to 20 pounds of apples to the gallon.
Yeah, it's like you're using way more fruit than you're getting the product from, unless you're using a really, efficiency on the commercial devices is way more. I mean, it's way more fruit and way more juice is coming out. They're using those presses that are just literally
smashing
every bit.
Yeah,
of fluid.
It's damn near dry coming out of it.
Like it's like pumice or something. It's like
Like, well, got it all out of there.
Styrofoam when you pick it up.
Yeah. What the hell is this stuff?
Yeah,
it's just fiber.
It is, basically just like.
So, what role does apple variety play in shaping your cider's flavor compared to like a yeast or your fermentation process?
A lot. It's the sugar content. So your cider apples, you would be wanting to use a blend of sharps, maybe some bittersweets or some bitters, less table apples. But we end up here, where we are, using a lot more table apples, and we're real lucky if we can find some crab apples to provide, like, that bitter or that sharp profile.
Yeah.
So then we look to, say, your shop for some tannins.
Thanks for the plug.
Tannins,
yeah.
And how do those come, Ben?
Tannins, they're usually just a powder you can add. I've got some red wine tannin and some white wine tannin. And I've used them interchangeably, and they produce what I need it to do.
Easy enough.
The tannins, come from grape skins most often, and they're going to provide like an astringency, and it makes you want to drink it more. Let's be honest about that.
It does.
Yeah. Too much tannin, and you're having the opposite. Well, it can go too far. I've had some really tannic ciders and wines, and even some beers that were like, man, you got problems. That's called grain husk. But you drink them, and they suck all the fluid out of your face.
Yeah.
And you really you were thirsty starting, and you're worse now, and you've gone through 6 of these damn things. You can't find your feet, and you're still thirsty. That's a bad day.
Oh.
Yeah, nobody wants that kind of flavor profile.
My understanding, some of these cider strains, they're
tart.
kind of ugly. They're not a great looking.
They're not pretty apples. No, they're not a
tart apple.
I mean, if we're talking about that cider apples that are used to make cider, there's some, brown snout.
Scabby looking.
Just think about that for a minute. Yeah, brown snout apples. They're moody. They're moody apples. Like the Kingston Black, it's very difficult to grow, and it's very sensitive to climate changes, and so it's like a very dramatic apple.
Prima donna.
Pretty much, yeah.
It sounds like my apple I'm growing out back. I mean, that thing is finally growing a little bit of good apples this year, but they've mostly fallen off. I think they arrived too soon.
Yeah,
but they've been. I'd call them zombie apples. So I think it's kind of like that. They're very temperamental, or they're just old, and I have to prune them better, maybe.
I mean, annual pruning cutbacks and
Baby the plant.
It's probably a whole other show to talk about how to prune my apple
we've got
trees.
some ugly cider apples out there. We've got our neighbor's windfall, neglected hoard. Like, you can still make good ciders out of some of those. Do you have any like memorable moments? Like, I had the ugliest fruit and came out with a pretty fucking good cider.
Okay, so one time I was told
at cider
about
camp.
One time at cider camp about a hidden orchard behind a friend's parents' place out. It was like South Lake Whatcom, and they're like, there's this orchard that's out back behind the property, and it was under like where the power lines were. And so they take us out there. We go out there, and we have all these boxes and bins, and we're going to collect all this fruit. So there's about 12 trees, and it's just in the green space between like the hills and the housing, right? Like someone just planted them out there,
like a buffer zone kind of.
Yeah, they're just like off-grid apples. Yeah, and so we're picking away. We're collecting all these apples, and I think this is the time we got about 450 pounds, and we're just going, and the dog's with us, and I don't even know how many different varieties. They were not all the same color, nor were they the same shape. They were not the most attractive fruit. And we're picking. I'm standing on a stool, and I go to back down off this stool, and I look down on the ground. I'm just like, my whole shirt's just full of apples, and I look down, and it's bear scat. And I'm like, oh, God, pick faster. We got to go. It's dusk. We need to leave. The dog starts standing at attention, and it was one of my older pit bulls, and she was like, "Hey guys, we need to go to the car." We're like running with these baskets of apples out to the car, and we're like trying to load them all out. But that was like one of the like more epic stories. It was like we were almost bear bait picking apples to make cider.
Good times.
Yeah,
good times. Cider came out good though.
It did. We served it at a wedding. Yeah.
Everybody got drunk.
They sure did.
Yeah. Effective.
Yeah, it was very effective.
Some ciders can be pretty high in volume. How high of a cider have you made?
7.4.
That's it? Not like a 13%?
No, that would be getting closer to like a Sizer or a Mead if we were using honey as a back sweetener. Like that hibiscus one you referenced earlier might have been a little higher.
With only cider apples, you can only achieve about 7.5%? Unless you boil it down?
No, you don't actually have to heat it. I mean, if you were using quince, you would want to maybe heat it to get a little more sugar out of the fruit itself.
That's a big starch bomb.
Yeah, so a lot of people heat them. They macerate them and heat them, and that brings all the sugar to the surface of the flesh.
Okay.
But then they're half cooked, kind of, right? So I've never tried to mess with the quince.
Yeah,
they're not a very pretty fruit. They look a little bit like a squash.
Yeah, on a tree.
It's
weird.
It's
They're
like a weird
squash,
oval squash.
We've got an Asian quince or Japanese quince in it. The fruit is only like a big nickel size, and you know, I ate one and I will never do it again.
They taste terrible.
It was awful. It was like a tannic punch in the face.
Yeah.
Like the combination of a rock hard raw potato with a tannic punch.
I planted one of those trees in my backyard last year, but it didn't make it. It didn't make it through.
Yeah. Wife loves it. It's a cool looking bush, but we ain't fruit. We're not keeping the fruit on that one.
All right, good.
No. You don't want that. You don't want that. Mm-hmm.
So are there any like terroir effects for cider like we see in like grape growing regions and stuff like that?
Like the apples we have here have a different profile than I would say the apples on the East Coast. There's a lot of apple farms on the East Coast. We covered a lot of that in the Institute. Virginia and Maine and New York all have different varieties that thrive and grow there than what we have here. So like I was saying, the Kingstons are very dramatic. There's not very many places that offer Kingston black apples.
Yeah.
I don't even think, like we had some places here in Washington State that did make a Kingston black cider, but I think that's down to maybe one now.
Yeah, I know Gary Moulton, formerly of WSU's Extension unit, like he ran their like cider management program for years. Mm-hmm. He's got some Kingston Blacks on his property, and he says, "I've only got enough for my production." Like,
they're very sensitive. Yeah.
I was like, "Did you bring any with you? Did you?"
It's unfortunate. That's my favorite apple, so it's really unfortunate.
Cool
but,
apple.
Yeah.
My grandfather's favorite apple was Gravenstein, so I've had some interesting ciders with that apple.
Yeah. The wicks and crabs are the ones that are like the crab apple that are used primarily in ciders if you're doing all crab apple. Whenever I see people, trying to give away these strange tiny apples, I'm like, oh, hey.
I will take,
Can I take those?
Yeah. All of them.
Let me help you out.
Yeah. Yeah, they make for the tart, what do they call it? Yeah, the tarts. So we're talking, you were mentioning like tarts and bitters and sweet apples. Those are kind of like flavor qualities that we're trying to quantify.
Yeah, I mean, it's a balance too. It's like a balancing act of what you're looking for, what each variety provides, right? Oh, look, there's a picture.
A crab apple picture?
Yeah, they are very pretty apples for sure.
How big are they? They're fairly small.
They're little guys, yeah. That's why you can't get much juice out of them. They're just little baby guys.
So
Super sweet. That's cool.
Coming from a beer landscape, in my dipping my toes into the cider realm, I haven't seen like huge differences in fermentation protocols for cider. Is there anything I'm like completely missing on that front?
I don't actually have to heat mine, so like where you're generating wort, I'm just pouring things into a carboy.
You have sugar; it's already there. You don't have to.
Yeah, it's already. Yeah, I don't have to, mess around with that. So, if I want to make it shelf stable, I should pasteurize afterwards because there is still sugar in the end product, so it will continue unless you pasteurize and shut her down or refrigerate it. Yeah.
I think the Red Barn pasteurizes. I know the Red Barn pasteurizes.
I think
Bellwood
doesn't make cider.
Oh, they don't.
No, they make. They're distillery.
Well, you said that you would get some cider from who?
Pressed juice from the orchard.
They grow
from
apples.
Bellwood. Yeah, because it is an orchard, right?
Oh, you'll get pressed juice.
Yeah, and they'll just fill it right into the carboy.
Right.
You just put a piece of duct tape on there with your name, and they call you when it's full.
Isn't that cider? Or
Well,
just
I mean,
juice, I guess. Okay.
it's off the tree, but you're going to
It's not
ferment
hard
it.
cider.
Yeah,
It's not hard cider. It's just
and they're not pasteurizing.
it's soft
raw.
cider.
Yeah,
Soft cider.
raw product.
Yeah, I generally, if you see, it, I tell people if you see it in the refrigerator, it's unpasteurized.
Yeah, so that's unpasteurized, and but the Red Barn does pasteurize.
It's been I don't quite recall. It's been a hot minute since I.
Oh yeah, I
purchased
got a
one.
whole fucking carboy of pasteurized
Yeah.
shit. Fucking hot.
Is there like some break in that pasteurization process? If you're pasteurizing the juice before fermentation, are there some like qualitative effects? I mean, I imagine some of these flavor compounds and aroma compounds can be
if you're getting pasteurized juice and you're trying to ferment it, you might not have as good of luck. Pasteurizing the juice before you're fermenting it does impede it a little bit. When you're buying it from like the Red Barn and stuff like that, that's not pasteurized juice. That's like fresh pressed off the tree.
That place pasteurizes. I've seen it.
Do they really?
Yes.
Because it'll hinder your fermentation.
No, like I would go there and I'd buy 5 gallons and it would come out at 180 degrees in my plastic carboy and I'd be like, that is hot.
So is it making it harder for the yeast to do the job, or is it just like qualitative differences? It's like flavor and aroma compounds get destroyed.
It's making it harder for the yeast to do its job if it's pasteurized pre-ferment. Like if I'm going out to Bellwood and I'm asking for a carboy, they're just pouring it straight in the carboy.
Right, they're just pressing and pouring.
Yeah,
it
it's
in.
just going straight in the carboy.
Yep.
And then I'm processing it at home, and it's not pasteurized.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize because I've actually. So this is the thing with pasteurized product, whatever your base product is. A lot of people are very concerned about what they're going to use. They want to have a quality product, and they want this and they want that.
Well, I want the best thing I can.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but-
think the Red Barn, they process all their apples and then put it all in gallon jugs and put it in the freezer. And they have a huge.
That's
freezer.
probably part. I wouldn't call that
bet.
pasteurized, but but they do.
No,
they do freeze it
No,
because
it's pasteurized, and then they freeze it, and then they sell it all throughout the year.
yeah, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to get it all year long. So they freeze a bunch of that stuff, right? But
And
yeah,
then and then they fill their little. Their refrigerators as they need.
yeah. I mean, I've gone to the store or Costco and bought Treetop, and I fermented that. So
Oh, we talked about Martinelli's the other day, didn't we?
You can ferment some grocery store juice if you want to.
Yeah.
You want to put in the time.
Yeah, you just you got to look for potassium sorbate on the labeling.
Right, right.
If you see that on the label,
You're
that's
done.
gonna
It won't
that's
ferment.
gonna prevent fermentation. That's why they put it in there. They didn't want it to blow
Right.
up on the
I've
store
done some
shelf.
studies on that where I bought different store brand ones that didn't have the preservatives in it, and it turned out fun. It was cool. It was a good experiment.
Oh. We're talking about pasteurization versus management. Are you more into like cultivated fermentation, wild ferment, or are you doing both of them these days, Jen?
I have dabbled in wild. I did do a wild ferment peach cider. That was fun and very messy. But normally I try to keep that's my water.
Just passing water in the studio right now.
Controlled, yeah. Try to
Clean up aisle 4.
Yeah, well. I try to keep the cider. I like a consistent product, so I try to keep it on the same path. The wild ferment it's too much of an open gate. There's too many things that can happen.
Gambling with your fruit.
Yeah, it's a little bit like bacteria roulette.
Yeah,
I love that bacteria.
Well, we
roulette.
we all met at an off flavor tasting event. We've tasted everything that can go wrong in your ferment, and boy howdy are there some standouts in the oh my god, this is awful.
Yeah,
There's some really weird stuff that can go down with wild ferment. Yeah, I don't
fast too.
I'm not into it. I'd rather have a consistent product, know what I'm looking for, and know what I'm going to get.
Just from a labor savings angle, like I'm into preserving my labors. If I've pruned my trees and then harvested the apples and crushed them and then pressed them, I'm not really interested in throwing dice and watching that work
open
go.
Top wild ferment.
Watching that work go away.
You know, I'll tell you, the secret about that is that I processed all that fruit by hand, and then I juiced it and used an open top, like a bus tub almost, it had a floating lid on it, and that's what I used in the bottom of a temperature controlled refrigerator. And it was weird.
Let it go nuts.
It did go nuts, and it was weird.
Like lots of extra players in that pool.
Super tart. I felt like it was just like Brooks
How long did it last?
How long did it last?
Did you the cider, like how fast did you drink it, or was it one of those like I can only handle one of these kind of things?
No, after you bottled it, did you drink them right up, or did you savor them?
I think they sat in the fridge because I was scared of them. A little nervous about that.
Balancing acid, sweetness, and what is kind of your approach to making a good cider versus something that's like cloying or overly thin?
Build your base cider, ferment it out, try it, check it every day, document it. I have a big notebook that's full of this many bricks on this day, and I just calculate. And when it gets to the point that you want it to be at, stop it. Stop the ferment.
What's you're doing sulfite to shut that down, or pasteurization?
Yeah, I'll drop some sulfites in there or some Camdens. Yeah. If I'm doing it at home, sometimes I won't. I'll just let it go till it's 0. But if you're looking for something specific, it's best to try the product. Check use your hydrometer bomb. Don't drop it. Or your refractometer, or check your pH all the time. You want cider pH is recommended at 3.5.
Yeah, it's pretty acidic.
Yeah. And you just want to keep checking it, because honestly, like I said before, the apples that you're using, it can be table apples, and you can still get a decent quality cider from table apples, where if you're using bitter sweets and sharps and bitter sharps and, professional grade apples, you can still you're still checking it every day.
Right.
You're still checking your pH. You're still doing the same steps, right? And then those apples are harder for you to get. They're even at Bellwood Acres, which is a massive orchard. They only have one tiny section of cider apples.
The rest are just table apples.
The rest of them are table apples.
Yeah, I see a lot of Honeycrisp out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had some decent stuff made with that.
Yeah, and I think if you're making cider at home, try not to be so consumed by the fancy cider apples, because you can still make a good quality cider. I mean, the proof's in the pudding.
You are the pudding.
I am the pudding. And I've tested I've done the grocery store juice. I've done the fresh pressed. I've done the apparently pasteurized, unknowns to me. But there's there's a lot of different ways that you can get a quality cider.
Awesome. We just cracked open another cider, as a matter of fact.
This is the 5th anniversary of Yonder. Hard cider. This is a mixture of all their favorite cider fruits from the past year, blended together for the semi-dry cider worth celebrating their 5th anniversary. Happy 5th anniversary, Yonder.
They're calling it a semi-dry, huh?
It's pretty dry.
Yeah, it's pretty dry.
For a semi-dry.
I'm looking for the semi. Is that the dry semi that's
It's pretty
like
dry.
going
Also,
through my face right now?
I will tell you that the anniversary party was last month. So this is
I like it,
this
though.
is a little drier, of course.
It's almost like I can taste some apricot in there.
Yeah, this is since they're in
Not peach, obviously.
Since they're in Wenatchee, they have access to the most amazing apple selection. Their whole situation is just dreamy, so dreamy.
Shit that just doesn't grow here on the west, on the wet west.
Yeah, it fungus and parasites and everything that we have on this side of the mountains is, over there so much drier. But the apple selection she has there for Yonder is just amazing. So she's kind of my hero, Caitlin from Yonder.
Hello, Caitlin.
Yeah.
Cool.
Shout out to Caitlin.
Kaylin, good job on this one.
Yeah, this is really great. They do another one called Wenatchee Wave, which is a really amazing high tannin rosé cider. It's just beautiful and fragrant, and I love it. It's out of season.
She's drooling. Y'all can't see it, but I can.
Yeah, it's just a little slippage out the side there. Yeah.
I'm gonna drink some more of this.
It's good.
This is a very good cider. I really like the acidic qualities.
Yeah.
It makes you want to go.
If this is their semi-dry, their dry ones.
You'd
gotta
like to
be,
see the dry?
like bracing, like gonna, like sandpaper dryness. So this is because I'm not getting the anything
dryness.
about that. Yeah.
I like the dry.
Yeah, I do too.
I like that dry like that. Yeah, that pucker thickener. Pulls everything right out of your mouth.
Yeah.
There's a lot of companies that only do dry ciders anymore.
I think a lot of beers have gone kind of to the drier side of things as well. We had, in the 2000s, we had big Crystal Bomb IPAs, with almost cloying sweetness.
Yeah.
Balanced with 100 IBUs and
That used to
shit.
be like the Northwest IPA.
Yeah,
was that really super high hoppy IPA with super sweet kind of malt bill to it.
A dry finish is easier to drink for, I think, most people.
Yeah.
And
repeatable.
Yeah. Right. It's the default position for crying out loud. We don't have to stop it at just the right time and monkey with it.
Think about some of these dry ciders or fruited ciders accompanied with fresh hops, because 'tis the season and they are starting to show up.
I have had some delicious hopped ciders. They make me happy.
They make me happy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think we had a fresh hop last week. The Strata.
Yeah, we did.
The Strata fresh hop is what we did last week.
Ooh,
From Holy Mountain.
That's a beautiful beverage.
Yeah.
It was pretty damn good.
That
delicious.
there's charming right there. Yeah.
I think we each had a whole one.
Would drink good on Wednesdays.
Yeah, that's a nice
Delicious.
beer.
I know. I got some more beer in the fridge. I've been waiting to drink, and dang.
Oh, that's right. You did that big special order, happiness box.
We're going to have to do the show more than once a week.
Tell me
What?
something.
The box has arrived.
Oh, yeah. Remind me,
That
and
was
you
fast.
can leave with your prize.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so the cider, this is a dry cider. Yes. I
Yum.
agree. Yeah.
All right. So, what techniques are out there for conditioning or aging ciders that most of the homebrewers would not readily know? Are there any secrets?
You can barrel age cider. Maybe, some straightforward homebrewers might not think about that. Again, you can fresh hop the cider. You can spice the cider. You can fruit the cider. You can hide the cider in your closet in the dark in a temperature-controlled sweater.
There
You can
go.
also leave them in your garage to turn into vinegar to warp your rubber stoppers. We found that out. Didn't we?
Yeah,
No
that's right. That's
fun.
right. Yep. Warp your rubber stoppers,
Let's try not to do that.
and they end up looking like
Little cat butt. Little cat butt action.
Cat butt.
No lie on that one.
Let's try to keep it, where you can keep track.
Those
of
are
your
brand new.
fermentation.
Well,
I
I have to list
bought
this show
those
as explicit.
Yeah, I bought those from you. That was absolutely fresh, first use, and pressed in that thing for almost 2 years.
Yeah, maybe not the aging technique that we're going for with that last line of
hilarious.
questioning.
Yeah, I think the
whatever.
hibiscus cider you referenced earlier, 9 months, was like the longest I had ever waited for anything.
You're a patient human.
And I had racked it like 4 times just to keep it really clean and really bright. And I really wanted that honey profile to come out in that cider. And the color on that little bugger.
Oh, it was pretty.
Holy
Yeah, it was pretty.
Oh, wow. That was beautiful. Just like this gorgeous red, ruby red with like a golden undertone.
Mm-hmm.
That was a beautiful cider. And the patience paid off.
Yeah.
Just for the flavor profile and the color.
So make more ciders so you have something to drink while you're waiting on the other stuff.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Make some other ones.
It's like our Scotch ales.
Yeah.
We got to
Yeah.
make our Scotch ales. We
Yep.
got to make our ciders.
Yep.
And then we just make our IPAs in between.
So you mentioned kind of going outside of the box, but cider's got like deep roots in American, European drinking culture. Are there any, kind of those traditions that inspire you for, kind of the outside of the box thinking that you're doing?
Like a heritage or estate style cider that is like grown and produced on site in one location. Mm-hmm. That's a pretty cool notion.
Sneak a carboy onto Bellwood Acres. I'm just going to leave this one right here. I'm coming back in 6 months.
Oh, he would love it.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
would love it. He'd be like, how about
I
this
got a big straw.
250-gallon tote over here? You want to ferment that? Yeah, I think that if you are a cider maker, and I know a lot of people are just, shipping their juice in, they're using totes or, but just the inherent charm of producing, processing, and building your line and your product
In your backyard.
in your own backyard, whether it's a sustainability,
From your own orchard.
yeah, just from your own orchard, your own place, in your own, neighborhood, I guess, it would be so amazing. And that's that kind of estate style. So those two terms, estate and heirloom or heritage, are like they were a hot ticket when we were in school, when we were doing Cider Institute. It was like there were two camps. You were either estate or you were heritage, and you couldn't be both. But they mean basically the same thing, right? They're grown and built in the same place. And people just were if you were like an old school cider stickler, you were like, no, this is a heritage cider.
Because they've been doing it longer.
Mm-hmm.
Probably is the bullshit argument of the day is like, we've been on it for longer, so we get our own thing. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
We've been here longer.
There's not. You mean there's egos in this industry? That's weird. That's so weird.
It is crazy. Yeah. So using the term estate is a more modern reference to that idea. So yeah.
No.
I mean, Finn River does that. They do that job. They do the sustainability. Everything's grown, and they source some things like saffron and cocoa nibs and things like that for some of their ciders, and they make.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, you'd have to source cocoa nibs.
Yeah, and they did have a really good source for it, and they actually had someone that was growing saffron out there also. But
that's a labor.
That is a labor of love, right?
Yeah.
And so they were trying to, ethically source.
Acre a can or something like that.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Hand processed. 3 little stamen per half. You really gotta want some risotto for that shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I heard an interesting analysis of, we were all told in grade school, like Johnny Appleseed marching across the country and planting orchards everywhere during the 1800s.
He was just traipsing across the country.
Yeah, and he sounds like a
seeds
crazy
out of his bag.
person. Like he was planting apples everywhere.
I always wondered how he got that far and like with the seeds of apples, because I mean, Seems like an impossible task.
I don't think it was a quick trip.
Right, I think he was at it for a while.
Yeah.
The analysis I heard, he wasn't really he wasn't Apple crazy. Like he wasn't like a major cider nerd like the rest of us sitting here. The dude was a real estate investor, and he had figured out that if you cultivate some land and apples grow easily, they don't require a lot in the early days, so he could cultivate land with orchards. And then he would be able to sell. You get free land because it was cultivated during the and this is during the Homesteading Act and westward expansion of the nation. And so he's going to these. He's getting free land from the government, planting an orchard. It's now cultivated, and then sells it at a huge profit. So he's a real estate developer who used fucking apples. And I
That's an interesting take. How did you hear this story?
it was like a History Channel thing.
Well,
Yeah. Fill my head with nerdy information. Yeah,
That might not be true either.
it had some. I don't have my sources.
I could see that
today,
has some sense.
It was
sensical,
like that kind of
sensical type information in there, but probably not really true. It probably wasn't a fucking Johnny Appleseed.
Well, there was a guy, and he planted
guy.
a lot of apples.
I know.
I think that was
It was
part
a
of. I think
story.
that was kind of like a marketing pitch for the dude.
I think it was a story. I think it was a story for all of us to tell the kids.
I mean, wasn't he supposedly walking the whole time?
I thought he was barefoot. Too.
He was supposed to wear like a
seeds
pot
out.
hat, like a kitchen pot for a hat, like
right,
that's,
or something.
Like that's crazy talk.
Like short trousers. What do you do during the winter?
Talks to himself in strange corners.
I think that was definitely like a childhood book with the short trousers. I'm pretty sure
not
that
wearing
guy he was not running around in cropped jeans. I'm going to say that.
A childhood
That was the art department's fault, right?
Golly.
So,
All right.
cider's kind of having a kind of a big comeback. It is a major growth sector in the alcoholic beverage industry, and here in America, it kind of went away for a really long time. What do you think's fueling that comeback?
Oh, celiac disease or gluten intolerance, basically, I think is what is really boosting that for a lot of people that still want to, they still want to sip on something. They still want to, they want to be in a tap room somewhere, but they can't have beer. So they're just, they're
it's a good
doing
option.
ciders. Yeah. They're, and even seltzers and things like that are one of the primary competitors, or gluten-free beers and things like that are really making a run at it too. But cider has had an up and coming with gluten-free.
That's a pretty interesting take. I hadn't really thought of it along those lines.
Yeah, I live in Bellingham.
You do.
We got a lot of people that are gluten-free. So, yeah, it's on the forefront of my thought process.
And you even work in a brewery.
And I work at a brewery.
Which
Yeah.
brewery? Where you at nowadays?
I work for Fountain Brewing in
Fountain
Bellingham.
Brewing, okay.
Yeah.
Doing the beer thing, or they got a cider program there?
They're doing the beer thing.
I love the beer thing.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Yeah.
Huge fan.
Need to get them going doing the cider.
Yeah. Like you talked about a cider program with them.
We definitely have talked about it, but we're still so new, like having only been in production for about 2 years now, that we're still just getting our boots wet, and we're just now starting to get out into festivals. We're like gathering cooperage. We're not canning, so still very small production facility.
Still cutting your teeth.
Now, if I'm a home brewer and I'm thinking about getting into the cider, I'm going to do my fermentation, right? That's usually going to take it a little bit longer than my beer fermentation, right?
Well, that depends what yeast you're using.
Aha.
Yeah, I've done ciders like in packaged and drinking carbonated in 13 days.
13 days.
Yeah, I was at Kvike.
Aha. I remember this.
It was a cider strain. I think it was Cider House Select, cranked through. I'm not worried about acetaldehyde. If it tastes like apple, that's kind of where I'm going.
Yeah.
And I packaged it up, carbonated in a keg, and I mean the fermentation timeline was 10 days. The carbonation timeline was 3 days.
How clear was that? Did you clear it out with an agent?
I think I used a dual fine product. Some of those cider kits, they don't have I think they filter those before they package, so there's not like the particulate to worry about. So they're pretty easy.
So I'm gonna have to do a little bit of a yeast selection when I choose what cider I'm gonna make.
Sky's the limit on that one.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to fit this into my brew schedule, right?
Yeah.
So I'm usually brewing beer, and now I'm worried that this cider is going to take longer time, or other things.
So, Jen, you made a face when I said that. I'm going to give you the floor on yeast selection for cider. You are the resident expert today, after all.
You can use a variety of yeast to make cider. You can use Kvike, and that, if you keep it at the appropriate temperature, will ferment out in 36 hours. That is a beast, right? Saison yeast.
Oh, I love
Saison yeast.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It really kicks up the esters, the clove. It's just amazing.
Nice.
That's what's in the Tempest, actually, is the Saison yeast. Yeah. You can use the wine yeast. You can use champagne yeast. You can use ale yeast. It just depends what you're looking for in a flavor profile.
Right. I like to recommend people taste the rainbow. If you got a lot of trees and you're going to do this again next year and the year after that, play around.
Yeah, do some samples.
Experimentation is, what's the best cider yeast? That's such a subjective, individual palate question. I am not a huge fan of champagne yeast for largely everything.
I like the dryness and the effervescence that you can get from.
It's a gassy strain. Yeah.
But it's also really. It is for aroma qualities. The sulfites really are present in the beginning when you're using that, and that is kind of why I started messing around with more ale yeast and more wine yeast and different things.
Oh yeah, she is stinky.
I'm a stinky girl. Yeah. So the Kvike is amazing. The fruit profile that comes from that, just that warm ferment is amazing, and it's quick. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, it breaks so many friggin' rules.
It really does.
we got to sit down with the Kvike Yeastery out of Norway, and they have a new line of dry multiculture organic strains, and they are monsters. They are absolutely.
Are you selling
monsters.
those now?
We are, and they sell pretty good. That was actually our number
Kvike
one
dry
rated
yeast
episode. Yeah.
Is it from our friends?
Yeah,
sweet.
Absolutely. That like I said, that's the number one episode. We've had the most downloads on.
Right.
Fantastic. Awesome. It was a fantastic conversation with Lars and I'm going to blank on everybody else's name now. Kvikes are cool. I'm a big fan of Nottingham. The English ale
I like
yeast.
Nottingham too.
Yeah.
Again, though, the T58 Saison is probably my ultimate favorite.
Yeah.
What temperature do I ferment that at? Is that a kind of an open range? If I'm at 78 degrees on in my normal day.
That's a bit warm, I think.
Bit warm?
Yeah, I think that normally at my house it's not a super warm location. Anywhere from 68 to 70 is kind of where we sit. And
so if you're in a warmer location, I'm going to use a Kvike yeast.
Yeah, when I used Kvike in the winter, I had to use a heating element, or I had to put it inside of a bin. The carboy itself is inside of a bin of water, and then I heated the water to keep it at temp.
Right.
There you go.
That was some very MacGyver business, and that was I was I'm going to do this, and this is how it's going to happen, and it happened.
It's kind of like a simple glycol chiller in a way.
In reverse.
Yeah. It's just and that cider ended up taking first place. So
nice. See, it worked out.
It was worth the
cool.
efforts of heating the water for however long that took. Yeah, that was insane.
We've got one last beer, and
tell us
then
about
we
it.
should probably talk about getting started with this stuff. What do we got, Jen?
We have a French cider. This is a Normandy rosé. So
It looks like beer.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a lot of leaves in it, and I did bring it down here from my house, so you can see the leaves
in a
Jeep.
Jeep.
Yeah, in a Jeep. So it is kind of a rattly ride. So it was a beautiful, clear, kind of pink amber hue when I took it out of the...
It's still pretty close to that.
Yeah.
It's got a caged cork on there.
It does have a cork and cage. Contains sulfites. This is like a true European style. This has been cellared at my house.
Okay.
So,
oh my gosh, thank you.
How long?
I believe I bought it in Astoria.
At the
Okay,
Bridge
hold
and Tunnel
on.
Bottle Shop.
Dogs, be quiet.
At Bridge and Tunnel. That's
Bridge
correct.
and Tunnel is if y'all are planning a vacation, get your butt to Astoria.
Should have let that sucker go. We love to hear corks pop.
Oh, I caught that.
You did.
I'm actually really terrified of that.
I
You
think
did
we-
good.
we-
You held it together.
Yeah, we got it on record.
She just went
So you bought this one in Astoria from the Beer King out of Bridge and Tunnel.
Bridge and Tunnel.
Yeah, that's a fucking magical place.
I really, we go to the Dark Arts Festival there in February. It's about 2 weeks after Strange Brew out there in Port Townsend. And being a beer nerd, I do love this festival with the very core of my being. There's something about being in the presence of more than 100 different stout varieties.
That sounds like a good start.
Oh, it's
A good stout.
I see what you did.
We got one day
I know where I'm at.
to break even with this, right? So you get there and you've got 12 tokens in 4 hours. So it's
12 tokens.
On your
Yeah.
mark, get set, go.
100 stouts to try. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've been to one of those stout and barrel age festivals. Oh my goodness! And you're doing a barrel age festival, right? And you're taking a 2-ounce pour. I mean, holy Moses!
I don't think these are 2 ounce. I've got to.
They're healthy.
They are healthy pours, and they're served in like a whiskey snifter style,
Oh, cool.
Craftsman style glass.
Nice. Visually stunning.
It's a very cool festival.
And that's the Dark Arts.
Dark Arts.
All right.
Oh, we got a festival coming up. Are we this weekend? Cider Summit?
Oh yeah, we have Cider Summit coming up here.
Did we buy tickets?
Yes, we did.
All right,
We're
good.
going
Good
VIP, by the way.
This is the way.
All right.
The next
Cheers.
upcoming
Oh,
festival.
I was going to say cheers to that.
Yeah, the next upcoming festival, though, would be the Whidbey Island Cider Festival.
Whidbey Island Cider Fest. We'll dig that up and we'll put a link to. We'll put the link in the show notes for
Cheers.
that, so everybody who wants to be a big cider nerd can go do that. Let's quaff this Roma de
Whoa.
Cider de Normandy.
Yummy aroma.
Ooh, is that like a bread aroma I'm getting there?
It's a mixed culture aroma of some
Ooh, she's a little sweet.
Whoa. Mm-hmm. It doesn't taste like it smells.
No, not at all.
No,
I think
that is soft, very round,
Very soft,
fruity
yeah.
flavor. She smells like a Brett bomb.
I think that you. I believe Garden Path carries some of this.
It's good. It's really good.
Yeah, this
They
has
carry
been,
in their bottle room, in their bottle shop.
Yeah.
They got some cool stuff in
They
there.
do have some really cool, like as far as like imported ciders go, they
Yeah.
have some really great stuff available.
Well, we drink Garden Path. We've drank Garden Path quite a bit
Yeah.
on the show.
Got a couple of we're gonna have them on the show before too long. I know I've talked to Mari several times, and they would be absolutely down.
Mari?
I think. Not
Amber.
Mari. Amber. Mari's over at
Chuckanut.
Neighbors.
Neighbors.
But I think with this like third mic setup, like we can
Yeah,
do
we
some
can have
cool
we
stuff
can have
a
two
little
in.
bit,
We
more often.
I need to get this hooked up, but I couldn't get that hooked up because I don't have a
The right thing with stuff on it.
I need a stereo patch cord.
Gotcha.
And I looked all over. I was all over the studio. I couldn't find one because I've done it different ways and blah blah blah. Anyways,
Ooh, this is funky and sweet.
Yeah, it is. God, that
different.
that is really hard to describe. Like the
it like
funky
gets,
nose, but it's like this.
It gets to your mouth and then gets in their mouth, and then you're like, "Whoa, what the hell is that?"
Yeah, because you're smelling it, and it
It's-
smells entirely different than it tastes.
And
Yeah.
it's a very like fruity flavor. It's very sweet forward,
It's good,
but it's like
delicious.
this round, pillowy kind of
It's delicious.
texture.
This is an estate style.
Ferm
by
de
the way.
Romili.
Oh man,
Cider de Normandy.
Normandy. Yeah, estate style.
That is a really interesting cider.
Bizarre. I like bizarre things.
Would drink again. Jen, give me a rundown. What are the best things to get started in cider today? Like, what are you gonna tell people? Somebody's like, hey,
what do
Jen,
I need?
You make this look really good and make it look cool. What do I do? What would you tell them?
If you're going to start and you're looking for something specific, I would recommend I use infusion. So I'll do a base cider and then I'll infuse that cider with a fruit so it's not as messy and it's less risk for contamination. I would recommend a couple of carboys. Don't be bashful. Get the sixer.
Make more cider.
Yeah, get some airlocks and some bunks.
Some pretty basic gear and get
some basic gear in there.
Get going on.
Yeah, and if you're sulfite sensitive, you don't need sulfites. You just have to be really careful with your storage. You can use dextrose to get a particular, like I said, ABV. Mm-hmm. So for me, my rule of thumb is 1 cup per gallon I'll add, and I can usually get a 7%. If I add a little bit more, sometimes I'll hit 7.4, 7.5. A little bit less, you can get something more sessionable, something that's easier to drink. The tannins, and you can buy and putter, and the pectin for dropout. So if you really want something that's clean and bright, then you should get something for that dropout, that pectin. I myself, since I use Saison yeast, or I'll use like an ale yeast, I assume that it's going to be hazy in the long run. I won't assume it's going to be bright. If you want something bright, then you should use a D47 or an EC1118 to keep it bright and clean. That's like full dropout.
Good flocculating yeast.
Very flocculating.
Flocculated.
So
Flocculation is
flocculated.
great.
Keep it flocculated.
EC1118. That's my go-to. That's my favorite.
But it also has that sulfite off gas too. So it smells terrible. There's no like quaffing really.
I get that call a lot. Like, I just started this cider. It smells like fucking rotten eggs. I'm like, yes, it does.
Yeah.
Better out than in, I always say.
You got to give it a rest. Rest in fermentation.
Yeah, let it gas out or off gas. I mean, I also, if you're, pardon me, this is quite a burpy cider.
That's okay. We have burps on the beer show.
But I'm a lady.
Fantastic one of that.
No, fantastic.
It's a beautiful burp then.
I think if you use some fruit, infuse it with fruit, you will get a better aroma off of it also. And that would be post-ferment. The trick of that is you can either use a steam separator or you can use hop bags. Dry hop bags.
I thought you said something different, and I was like, that doesn't compute. It's okay.
Hop bags.
Hop bags.
Yeah.
Oh, to your solid separators. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you can put that fruit in directly into, what I do is I clean it, freeze it, and then I drop it right into the keg. And so all that sugar and that aroma leaches off that fruit. Right. And then I leave it in for 3 days and take it out.
Freezing's going to pop cell walls as the
it breaks it down.
Bursts.
So it's sounding to me like basically I'm into finings. You know, I gotta go buy me some pectin. You know, if I'm going to do this, maybe some dextrose if I want to bump my ABV up. So I could go buy those, keep them on my shelf. And I think basically the rest of the equipment that I'm hearing is
basic gear. I'm a big fan of nutrients.
Nutrients
in these too. Like, okay, there's some trace minerality, some. Trace
now I'm going to buy that.
Like,
I'm going to go there and buy that when I'm buying the juice when I'm starting my ferment. Right,
day one. Yeah.
Okay, so that's easy enough. Good.
Yeah, it's. I mean, yeast is doing all the heavy lifting. We're just making house for bugs.
It's really, cider's so much different than home brewing. Like you have to have temperature control, and you're heating up, you're making your wort, and you're leaching your sugars out of your grain. Where this is already the base product already has the sugar attached.
Yeah. It's sucrose, it's glucose or fructose, glucose. Done.
And
we don't care.
Do you wanna control the temperatures? I mean, you want it maybe as cool as you can get it, but
it's really not quite as sensitive. If you were making beer, it'd be different, but it's not nearly as sensitive. I mean, if you want to manage like free SO2s and things like that, yes, you want to watch your pH and you want to watch your temperature. But I mean, if you're doing a carboy in the closet situation, there's room for error. You'll learn,
right?
Because it's gonna blow up in your closet.
Yeah, but if I do have temperature control, I might as well use that.
Yes,
okay.
you can use it. Yeah.
For nothing less than repeatability. Like if you hit a home run at 65 degrees, but you could never hit that again because it was an anomalous.
Right, but at 65 degrees,
produces,
it takes me 3 months to ferment my cider out.
Well, maybe that's nutrition. Could be
maybe.
nutritional deficiencies.
Maybe.
There you go.
Yeah, you need some supplemental nutrition for your cider.
Need some Flintstone vitamins for your cider.
I know. I was a purist. Only used cider.
I think it's spelled with an F.
It's almost like a
F-O-
Reinheitsgebot.
Foolish. That's the
Rein
word.
Heiskebot. Reinheitsgebotisch.
If I was going to start a cider right now, like this week for Cider Fest, say, I would start it now and I would feed it and I would keep it at, I don't know, probably 65, 68 in the house. And it would ferment out in probably 3.5 to 4 weeks, like fully fermented, like no sugar, nada, done. Then I would rack it off for dropout. And then I would keg it. And if I was going to infuse it, I would infuse it, and I'd be checking it with my refractometer, keeping, my log. I'm at this. Notes. I write notes. Too sweet, too this, too that, needs more of this, yada, yada, yada. The pectin, I think, is really important to add at the beginning for the dropout, even though you're going to rack it maybe twice. It still helps it clean presentation, unless you're using a hazy style yeast like the Saison yeast, or the Kveik generally presents as hazy.
They're a little lower flocculating. Yeah, I found that too.
So if you're trying to do that, and also just don't be discouraged by that first batch. I mean, like I said, that Marionberry Rosemary, boy, that was bullshit. That was my first batch. It was terrible.
Was yours.
It was all mine, but it was awful. And I will never go that route again.
We call those tuition.
Yeah. Learning process. Yeah.
Well, I think that's going to be a wrap for the show. We have covered an awful lot of material. Jen,
thank you for coming.
Fantastic to
Amazing.
see you again. Thank you for coming down. And the cider selection today was top notch.
Oh, yeah.
Well
Thank
curated.
you.
I feel it. I feel it all.
Oh, we're going to have after hours here and finish the rest of the cider.
Yeah, we won't be recording that because it's going to get...
I mean,
we might for some little blooper action one of these days.
It's a little bit. It's not much. It's
half gone.
Yeah, it's a 750 mil. We're fine.
Oh, yeah.
Again, thanks for listening, everybody. I hope you guys enjoy it.
Thank you, everybody.
We're going to see you...
Hope you enjoy the cider show.
We won't see you, but you'll hear us
We'll
next
see you.
week right here on the
see you
Beer
next
Craft.
week. Yeah.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Hey, we should let Jen say goodbye.
Oh, Jen, say goodbye to everybody.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Very mindful, very demanding. There you go. Awesome.
All right.
Awesome. We'll see you next time.
On
Bye-bye.
Beer Craft.